I was an instructor at the South Bronx High School, and we did everything from backpacking trips to ropes courses in the riggings of tall ships in the harbor, then began to do urban exploration. It was an attempt to sort of bring the methodology and philosophy of Outward Bound into the inner city and into classrooms for the first time. So it really is out of that work that kind of expeditionary learning was designed and came to life.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So we designed this expedition where teams of students interviewed people who have struggled with housing and homelessness. Because the work that we do, it has to be compelling and it has to be looking at the real world. We're called expedition learning for a reason. You know, the classic expedition, you're out with a group of people trying to climb a mountain, and the goal is real, and you're driven towards it. You all want to get there because you know that there will be a sense of accomplishment in the end. And all of the consequences along the way are real. It starts to rain, like that happens. Your computer dies, that happens. You know, these things go on, but you're committed to this end objective together. So the relationships become important, and the connections become important. And when you offer someone the opportunity to engage in something real and push them and challenge them to do things they never thought they could possibly do, there is nothing more exhilarating.
Okay, how long have you each been homeless?
I've been in and out of the shelters on and off for like 22 years.
So how did that affect you?
Because of the way you have to live and the fact that you may not be proud of it, whereas on your self-esteem, no matter how good your self-esteem is, it's very draining.
I want my students to walk out of my classroom skilled, knowledgeable, capable, and ready to tackle the problems of their lives and the world. But I believe that in order to achieve that, you have to feel like you belong. And you have to feel comfortable enough to be who you are. Because none of us are capable of learning when we're closed off and when we're fearful.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I think that's one of the reasons that we have the dropout rates that we have in schools, is that we have these large monolithic places where people walk through the halls anonymously, and no one notices whether they're there or not. Why would you go someplace where you don't know whether someone's going to notice that you're there or not? But I get up in the morning and show up because I know my friends are going to be there. My colleagues are my friends. I want to, you know, I'm going to get to say hello. I'm going to talk about the weekend before we get into the work.
So I've got groups arranged around the laptops. You will be meeting in those groups and presenting these things.
So we've got to build a community in our classroom. We have to build a community in our school. We have to create a space where students feel like their whole self and everything about them matters. I challenge my students far more than I would if I were in a place where we didn't know each other.
Writing process standard and quality of writing standard. I need to see your revisions and all those drafts stapled together.
Susan is an intellectual, but she brings as much heart as head to her game, and she convinces kids that if they're not passionate about what they're doing, then they need to dig deeper and find what they are passionate about. Because once they're passionate, she knows that intellectual engine is going to be catalyzed, and they're going to do great things that they didn't think they could do, and which will motivate them to do the next thing.
I want you guys to see something because it's going to give you a taste and it's going to inspire us, and then you're going to work so hard.
She gets the adrenaline rush out of kids that is typically only gotten from the football coach or the drama teacher, because they're fired up about what they're studying and what they're going to present and share with the world.
So you got to make some of those decisions.
Miss McCray, I love her just aside from being a great English teacher, it's just she's kind of the kind of teacher that you go to with whatever. She's always there for you, always full of life. If you're going to teach expeditionary learning, you have to have a certain spark in you, and she just has so much of that. So
go to share. Try share. No? Huh. Are you in the slideshow part?
I'm on it.
It's really hard work. It's grueling, and it's demoralizing. Because you see the kid that you're not reaching, and you see the several young people that are slipping through the cracks, or you feel like it's not happening. The curriculum that you spent hours planning, the lesson that you designed and you spent all this time around falls flat. Happens to all of us, all the time. And I think the key to sustaining yourself in teaching and teaching is to be able to know that that is a reality. And that's a fact of the profession. And to know you gotta get up in the next morning and try again.
For more information about what works in public education, go to edutopia.org.